looking at several different properties of triangles, and it's really important that you understand each example and what I'm telling you, so that way when we go to the more advanced situation or the harder situation, you can pull in these easier facts. So let's go back a little bit in time here, and let's remember when they taught you when you were younger that all three angles in a triangle always add up to be what? 180 degrees. And it doesn't matter what type of triangle it is. You know, the first type was a right triangle. And the second type here, it's an acute triangle. And in fact, it's also an isosceles. Okay. Um, but basically 70 plus 70 plus 40 is 180 degrees. And same thing with this obtuse triangle. Okay, you can see the obtuse angle right here. 40 plus 120 is 60, and 60 plus 20 is 180. So no matter what, all of the inside angles inside a triangle add up to be 180, and we would call that interior angles. Okay, if you want the nice mathematical reference, if you refer to all the angles in a triangle, we would call those interior angles. So just lock that away in your mind there real quick and make sure that you remember that. Now here is where we're going to go into a different situation here, and this is where we're going to need to remember, hey, all angles inside a triangle, they add up to be 180 degrees. You know, together they're 180. And now we're saying, hey, what's this angle right here? Well, you can take 45 degrees plus 45 degrees plus this third angle right here, and we absolutely know they should equal 180 degrees. So what's 45 plus 45? 90. Well, let's go solve for x. Minus 90 degrees, minus 90 degrees, and x has to be 90 degrees. Let's go test it. Does this really equal 90 degrees? Well, 45 and 45 is 90, and 90 plus 90 is 180 degrees. So yes, it works. And so what we did there is that we took down the representation that we had of our three angles. Two of the angles were given to us, 45 and 45, so that's what I did. I added them together. And then I didn't know this angle, but they said it was equal to x, or x was, you know, basically representing it. And so I added these three angles up and I said, you know, I know that it should be 180 degrees. Let's take a look at a slightly different way of solving this. Okay. And this is the way that's used more in vogue, but it usually causes more problems when you try to get to this next element here. But a lot of times people say, well, if I have two of the three angles, I add them up. And they say 45 plus 45 is 90 degrees. And I know if I add all three up, they should equal 180 degrees. So let's take away these two angles here. See, this is two angles here. That was the sum, 45 and 45 is 90. And this was all three angles. If I subtract the two angle sum from the three angle sum, I get one angle. And that's the remaining angle right here. That's the 90 degrees. And so basically what they do is they say add up these two angles and then subtract it from 180. Okay. You do what you want. Just go get me this angle right here. Hopefully by this point, you realized that it should be about, no, not about, it should be 28 degrees. Okay. My style, 152, and just subtract it from 180, because 102 plus 50 is 152, and there you go, it's 28 degrees. That works, but you could also have said x plus 102 plus 50 equals 180. You see that these would combine to be 152, and then minus the 152 to solve to get the x all by itself. And this is the key part right here. Do you see it says 180 minus 152? That's what you did right there. And so that's the reason we know this is 28 degrees. So this is kind of like the more intuitive approach, a little bit quicker. This is the, you know, straight up algebraic method of showing what you did. Go try a different situation here. What do you know? What do you know about this angle? It's a straight line, but it's also an angle. What do we know about it? Well, I just said it was a straight angle. And I also know that this whole measurement is 180 degrees. A straight line is 180 degrees. So what would x be here? I know that this blue line is 180 degrees. Okay, I know that. I also know that this measurement right here is 70 degrees. If I was to add x to 70, angle x, the measure of angle x plus the measure of this angle, which is 70, what would it equal? Straight angle is 180 degrees. Together, they should be 180 degrees. Well, minus 70, minus 70. And it's this part right here that you'll see right here with 180 minus 70, 110 degrees. So x is 110 degrees. Do you see that these two angles together should be 180 degrees? Now that's a lot of math that we've gone through there so far. We've gone through and we've reminded you that all three angles of a triangle always equals 180. And so when you have a missing angle, you could add up these two and then subtract it from 180 to find the missing angle. But then we also took a look at, after that practice there, we also took a look at straight angles. And we know that a straight angle is 180 degrees. And if you see two angles sitting on top of a straight angle, see this, 110 and 70, they're sitting on the straight angle that I put in blue. We know together they should be 180 degrees, and that gives us a lot of solving problems, a lot of solving power. So pause the video and go solve these three. Okay, see the straight line? Straight line means 180 degrees. See these two angles together? Together, they should be 180 degrees. So 180 minus the 50 degrees, that's the one that they gave us, gives 130 degrees. So this is 130. See this right here? Yeah, it's on the bottom side of it, but this is still 180 degrees on the bottom. So 180 minus 35 gives us 145 degrees. So this is 145 degrees. And this last one, it's probably the easiest one, as long as you know that this little sign right here means 90 degrees. Well, together, 90 plus what is 180? Or you could say this, 180 take away our given angle is 90 degrees. So hopefully you're feeling pretty good about that. The next video that I have is where we're going to be taking a look at a slightly more complex situation, and it's going to start right up after this one, right where it left off.